So this is the part A of the Khoodeelaar television channel, broadcasting under the banner of Baby Angel Geronimo. This one is timed at 21:40 hours GMT, but we have started about 6 minutes early. Now, the latest edition, the new year 2020 edition of the so-called satirical magazine, Private Lie, which is issue number 1589, dated the fortnight 6th of January to 19th of January 2023. Cover price £2.99. This is 2 days ahead of the scheduled official date of publication. So this is the evening standard piece is being examined on page 10 as Street of Shame. We shall come to that later in this edition. But on the Rotten Boroughs Awards 2022, the entry on Lutfur Rahman and Tower Hamlets is completely, typically stupid. It says, "Come back, kid." Kid. Kid is a word of endearment, not one of rebuke, not one of condemnation of a crook. It says, "Come back, kid." One Lutfur Rahman was elected as mayor of Tower Hamlets 7 years after being kicked out of that very post following the determination of an electoral court that he had engaged in corrupt practices. Now, as our campaign has been publishing updates regularly, Lutfur Rahman is a proven, on the record liar. Now, whenever he was born biologically, he was born decades after our campaign began, our movement began. And so therefore, The liar Luthraman lied on the 20th of September 2012 at the basement in New Road of a restaurant which is no longer there called Marcos, where he had falsely organized a meeting with me and where he insisted on buying a meal for me while he and Alibor Chaudhry and Muhammad Jubair remained without any meal. Now it's a very long story, but the tradition in our country and the community is that you cannot say no indefinitely. So that was the thing that I was honoring because I wanted to have the discussion. And the discussion started by him saying to me that I should have been the first MP, that I should have been the mayor, not him. Now, that was not the subject. The subject was not a celebration or appreciation of my abilities. It was an event that was organized to give him legal advice. As far as I'm concerned, I was concerned, I gave him the legal advice that he should get one of the employees of the council, where he was officially installed as mayor, executive mayor. I gave him, in short, the advice that he was legally, constitutionally entitled to give an order to Colin Cormack, the racist liar, to do his job. Now, it was Colin Cormack who had been briefed and ordered by Sylvie Pierce when she was chief executive in the mid 1990s. Look at the number of years. Sylvie Pierce ordered Colin Cormack to do the necessary task. And this was conveyed to me by Carol Marchant, who was the main admin in the chief executive's office. And that was in the mid 1990s. And I was talking to Lutfur Rahman 16, 17 years later in September 2012 in the basement of the now erstwhile restaurant in New Road, Whitechapel, called Marcos. At no point did Lutfur Rahman refuse to listen to me. At no point did he cite an illegal issue or any other issue. So that was September 20th of September 2012. 3.5 years later, let's say, I'm walking through Brick Lane, going northwards towards Bethnal Green Road, and I bump into Alibor Chaudhry. His only substantial confession to me at that meeting in Brick Lane was that Colin Cormack never wanted to do the right thing. He never wanted to do what he should have done and he could have done and he was asked to do. And all those years, between October 29th, 2010, up to the 15th of April 2015, 23rd of April 2015, the date which private lie doesn't mention, but the date when election commissioner Richard Mori ousted, banned Lutfur Rahman for corrupt practices. So Lutfur Rahman was being corrupt throughout all those years. And I was telling Alibor Chaudhry that Lutfur Rahman must stop being corrupt and that Lutfur Rahman must stop lying. And Alibor Chaudhry said consistently or persistently that Lutfur Rahman was not corrupt and was not being corrupt, and that he, Lutfur Rahman, always had the highest regard and respect for me and my opinion. And here was Alibor Chaudhry, sometime in April or May 2015, confessing that he had been lying to me on behalf of Lutfur Rahman all along. So this is why I call this private lie entry in the current issue, or say the latest issue, Rotten Boroughs Awards 2022, that although they refer to the corrupt practices, including vote rigging prior to the 2014 election, Lutfur Rahman is not examined in the private lie here, or has not been examined at any point based on the evidence, independent evidence of Lutfur Rahman's lying, corruption, and criminality. And private lie has not examined why, despite the fact that they admit that the electoral commissioner banned him for corrupt practices. Private lie should have examined the mystery why Lutfur Rahman has not been prosecuted or is not being prosecuted despite that evidence. So we shall be talking about that in due course. Now there is a 1981. So 1981, 91, 10 years, 2001, 20 years, 2011, 30 years, and 2021, 40 years. And this is the 42nd, 42nd calendar year since the East End News was being published. Fronted by three then NUJ so-called self-styled left-wingers, Jacob Eccleston, the liar, Mike Jamshit, the liar, and Aidan White, the liar. Aidan White's entry on the Wikipedia refers to him in glowing terms. Here I shall read some. I shall read the entry that I have retrieved in the last half an hour. Aidan White. So Aidan White is stated as the founder in 2012 of the Ethical Journalism Network. And then he was the General Secretary of the International Federation of Journalists from 1987 until April 2011. 87, 97, 2011, 22 years. He previously worked for several newspapers in the United Kingdom. He was with The Guardian in London prior to joining the International Federation of Journalists. He is a long-time campaigner for journalists' rights and is a former activist with the National Union of Journalists in Great Britain and Ireland. In 2021, he was made a member of honor of the NUJ. He was born in the Creggan area of Derry City in Northern Ireland in 1951. His recent publications include Journalism, Civil Liberties, and the War on Terror 2006, Making a World of Difference, The Story of Global Unions 2006, and to tell you the truth, the Ethical Journalism Initiative 2008. Now, what I shall be doing will be to read any accessible part or parts from those three titles that have been mentioned. And I shall be doing that in order to expose Adrian White as a liar. There is no ethics in his lying. There was no ethics in the lying racist stupidities that he and Mike Jamshit and the Morning Scar Stalinist woman Zelda Curtis, along with two South African women, South African white women, colluded and collaborated in. And the sabotage and the fucked up the Eastern News shall be updating all of that. Why? Because the title called Newham Voices that Adrian White has published, because he is the publisher, contains evidence of Adrian White and his co-racists lying. And I want to put to them this latest act of lying. And then I shall publish more about the lying and the impact. Now, it seems that he has been given all kinds of establishment positions. White is the former chair of the appointments panel of the UK Independent Press Regulator, Impress, and a former member of the board of State Watch. He has also served as honorary president of the Journalism Ethics charity Media Voice. Now, that is fronted by the racist liar Mike Jamshit from Bristol, and as a contributing editor and advisor to the Media Diversity Institute. He is also one of the 25 leading figures on the Information and Democracy Commission launched by Reporters Without Borders. So there is a long list of boasts and claims which warrant thorough examination based on Adrian White's lying role for Rukhsana Fiaz fronted Newham Council. I shall give him advance notice of what I'm doing, and I shall challenge him to refute any of the allegations that I shall be making to him directly. I spoke to him earlier today on the telephone and asked him where I could pick up a copy of the Newham Voices, and he told me where I could find it, and I found it in the Sainsbury's. And after looking at the print copy, I am convinced that Adrian White is a racist liar. Adrian White is one of the racist liars involved in this Newham Voices. What is happening in the United Kingdom in 2023 is that there is no real ethics in journalism. And in the 30 years, 32 years since I first had any contact with him at the Eastern News in 1981, Adrian White has not done anything, nor has the NUJ anything to stop racist practices in Fleet Street, stop anti Muslim practices in Fleet Street. How dare Adrian White even talk about ethics in his campaigning? He is not ethical at all. On the 17th of December 2022, when there was this meeting at the Stratford Library between 10 and 12 of so called supporters of the readers and supporters of the Newham Voices. He had already organized Newham's executive mayor Roxana Fiaz to come and hand out the certificates. It's such an embarrassingly stupid piece of journalism, that Newham Voices, that this program, Khoodeelaar television channel, will examine every single item in every single issue from now on. For the evidence, for the real truth to be told about Newham, and to be told about the likes of Adrian White, who is a racist without any apology. Now, here is this piece on the Times today, Wednesday, the 4th of January, 2023. The heading means that this evidence on the story, about which the heading is unprecedented. Millions will shun trains forever. As the latest strikes bring the worst disruption for 3 decades, unions are told a generation will turn against rail travel. Now, if that is the case, quite apart from the other things, then the time should be joining the campaign to scrap the HS2. We're talking about this later. And there is this piece about a Ukrainian prostitute. Ukrainian war refugee found at porn headquarters defends Andrew Tate. A young Ukrainian refugee found by police during a raid on an online sex business run by Andrew Tate has denied that the controversial British influencer mistreats women. Tate has transferred control of his website and consultancy businesses to his girlfriend, an American TikTok star, since coming under investigation by Romania's organized crime unit. Police raided the headquarters of his Hasla University, which provides courses on how to free the modern man from socially induced incarceration on the outskirts of Bucharest on Thursday. They also searched a nearby house that was raided in April last year when a 22-year-old American woman claimed she was being held against her will. The police said they believed the property was being used to produce online sex chats and added that 6 alleged victims had been identified. It is claimed women were recruited with the pretense of romance before being forced to perform in pornography under the threat of violence. The house is occupied by a 22-year-old Ukrainian refugee, Lisa, who asked for her surname not to be published, along with Tate's personal assistant and two female Romanian TikTok performers. Lisa denied any of them were involved in pornography. But the picture of Lisa defies that, completely contradicts that. Everything the police have said is not true. She said, I know them, Tate and his brother, Tristan, and they could not do this. The girls who live here do not have to do anything. They are good girls. Tate, 36, was born in the United States but grew up in Luton, Bedfordshire, after his British mother, an American father, a former chess grandmaster, divorced. He moved to Romania in 2017 after being expelled from the Big Brother television show following the publication of photographs allegedly showing him beating a woman. He said it was a consensual sex act. Tate is known as the king of toxic masculinity because of his views about women and sex. He was arrested last week with his brother Tristan, 34, and two Romanian women, Luana Radu, 32, a former police officer, and Tate's girlfriend, Georgiana Nagel, 28, who also hold US citizenship. Lisa said she had worked in marketing for a Ukrainian estate agency and met the Tate brothers about 3 years ago at a party in Kiev. Tate told her his online sex business was a very long time ago, maybe when they are 23 or 24 and made their first $1 million. She added they have so much money, they cannot make so much money from video chats. Lisa said she had been living in the £300,000 semi detached house in a gated community called American Village for a month after escaping the war. She was invited by the Romanian TikTok stars, who she believes make $4,000 a month from comedy videos. Police checked everything in the property and seized two laptop computers, including her own. The police wanted to know what I did for a living. Lisa said, I told them I was receiving Ukraine refugee payments and showed them every document, and they said, okay, we know Andrew and Tristan and cannot understand why the police are saying these things. I don't believe anything bad about them. I have known them for a long time. What the police are saying, I know it is untrue. They don't have any proof. There are not any video chats. Andrew acts like that in a bad way on the videos for show. He's not like that for in real life. Tate hopes to appeal against a ruling that he must spend 30 days in police detention while the investigation continues. He transferred his two Romanian businesses to Nagel in August last year. Talisman Enterprise is a website management business registered by Tate in 2017. Emory Andrew Tate and Son, a management and consultancy company, was registered in 2021. It was renamed Groundbreaking Development before being transferred to Nagel, then swiftly transferred to a Dubai based company linked to the American TikTok performer Abigail Tyson, who also appears on the OnlyFans site, often used by sex workers. Tyson has posted photographs of herself alongside Tate's fleet of luxury cars, including UK registered vehicles, at the high security compound of the Hasla University. I'm not sorry for interviewing a misogynist. Hugo Rifkin, page 21. Why have I read that? Because it is called a university. And it is a university, it is the term university that is at the center of this reference. And it is a contextual reference to the term university. Because of the three PhD theses that I've been referring to and have been promising to examine in detail, all three are done by so called respectable UK universities, but their works of complete and utter criminal invention and lies. So, if the respectable universities can lie, what's the difference between them and the Hasla University of Andrew Tate? Shall be talking more about that, all of that in due course. Going back to Newham, a Newham Council features in the Private Lie 2022 awards as being one of the four English local councils against which the most complaints to the local government ombudsman had been made in the period 2016 to 2022. First to the Birmingham, and then where is the magazine? I'll come to that in a second. So the first is Birmingham, then Haringey, then Lambeth, and then Newham Council. All three London councils, Haringey, Lambeth, and Newham, have got notoriety in their records. Haringe with baby P and Lambert with another child, and Newham, let's say, since Roxana Fias became installed in May 2018, Newham has had to apologize in the form of Roxana Fias, apologizing or staging an apology at a meeting held at the community links in Canning Town, Barking Road, on the 12th of November 2018. Now, in the apology, let's check what Roxana Fias said in that apology. Mother describes being forced to drink her baby's milk. That's on the Independent, 13th of November 2018. It's a piece that is byline to May Bullman, Social Affairs Correspondent, Tuesday, the 13th of November 2018 at 13:59. I was in my slippers. It was so cold. I plucked up the courage to ask them, to say I am hungry. I have a baby, but they said we can't give you anything. I had to drink my baby's milk. That is the quotation. So this is the last part of the piece on the Independent by May Bullman, which is to underplay Newham's guilt. After hearing the witness statements, Newham Mayor Ruxana Fiers said, "Can I just apologize on behalf of myself as Mayor of Newham and on behalf of the council that you experienced that treatment at the hands of people that we employ? It shouldn't have happened." Now, the truth is, Roxana Fiers didn't give a shit. She lied as she staged that apology. Why? Because not far from the venue of that staged apology, this woman in her 70s, Lillian John Baptiste, was found to have died 2 years before she was found in Newham. So Newham Social Services are letting people die like that. What on earth is the liar Adrian White trying to tell the world about Newham? So we shall be talking more about all of this in due course. We shall end this particular edition is just 44 minutes. Finishing this at 44 minutes long.